Welcome back to the show, everyone. We are big fans of Guttersnipe news, and of course the internet moves really quickly, so we all need a hand keeping up with what's hot.
And we're going to do that today with Shawn Connor from Guttersnipe News. How are you?
All right, Shawn.
Great. How are you
So,
guys?
Shawn, tell us about Guttersnipe. What is the website all about?
It's pop culture, music, movies, books, a little bit celebrity stuff, and some Vancouver stuff as well. Some dining.
We're going to talk about obviously, you know, some other things, but talking about Guttersnipe, what I love about you guys is that obviously it's, you know, everything, and pop culture is a big swath, but you have some really cool, specific information and stuff on Vancouver, concerts that are going on, like you know, concert reviews and upcoming concerts are always really good with you guys.
Try to keep a balance. Yeah. Try to cover some Vancouver stuff that's not being covered by too many other places. And other things that people are interested in.
Now, we're going to talk about the internet today, and everybody thinks they can be a star when it comes to the internet. And we're going to start with something called Naomi the Show. What is this about?
Web series are huge right now. A lot of people getting into it.
This is a Vancouver shot show. Naomi is a theater producer and an actor, and the premise behind the show is she's basically sitting on a park bench. I think it's on the east side. I don't know. Looks like the east
Everyone
side.
right now is trying to figure it out, right?
Look at the vista. Where do you think it is,
Where
kids?
is that?
Because in one of these clips she mentions Clark. Someone's asking the way to Clark. But the premise is she's a magnet for weirdos. And I've heard that from a lot of women in Vancouver, that everyone's a magnet for weirdos in Vancouver, apparently. And the premise of each episode is that someone's coming on to her while she's just sitting on the bench waiting for the bus or reading. And it's a new, like one time it's a guy in a giant squirrel costume. Once it's a bum, and they're just like.
It's quite clever. It's a funny show.
It's about a minute long each episode, so it's quick, it's funny, it's cute.
Nice. Love it. And everyone's talking about this. My 13-year-old daughter sent me the link to this video last week at some point called Friday.
Friday, yes.
Rebecca Black, who is she, and what is this video, and why is it being watched more than Lady Gaga and Justin Bieber?
Like, all of a sudden, this is crazy.
Well, it's weird, because I think people love to make fun of it because the lyrics are so bad.
They're terrible.
But they're just awful. I heard someone call it a train wreck of a pig pile of a song, which I thought was maybe a little extreme.
Let's keep in mind this is a 13-year-old girl.
Now, she basically got this package to do a music video from her parents as a gift, but somehow you can never plan what goes viral. She literally is she's like #1 on iTunes now.
Yeah.
How does this kind of stuff happen?
People are curious. They want to know. They hear about it. It goes viral. It's like the new water cooler thing. Like, you know, no one talks about a wedding on Friends anymore. They talk about the viral video, and it just happens to Rebecca Black.
How many of these do you think we are going to be subjected to over the next, let's say, 6 months is usually a fairly good shelf life? How many new videos are people going to throw out there? They're going to be terrible on purpose.
Well, there's going to be a lot that are produced, but this is like something that just has to happen.
You think it's just unusual?
It has to be organic for it to
I guess
do the
it
thing.
does.
You know, it's
that's
like,
part of the charm too, right? I mean, is that you can't force it. I mean, people talk about it all the time. How do you make something viral? Well, you know, I guess there's some strategies, but really, it's got to be what it is.
If it was more calculated, I think people would sense that and would be turned off. But because it's so sincere in its way,
it's so bad.
People, so sincerely bad, people love it.
Did you see her on Leno?
Yeah, I did.
Because she was talking about some of the criticism that she's gotten stuff, and that's the other side of it. Is, you know, she sort of threw this out there, and I guess, you know, it's be careful what you wish for. But I mean, people have been pretty harsh with a teenage girl.
But she's such a good sport about it. I think she's going to have a longer shelf life than people give her credit for.
Okay, something that happened, believe it or not, 5 years ago is something called Twitter was created. A lot of people still don't get it, but Twitter is celebrating 5 years.
5 years, yeah. 200 million users, I think. I think last week Charlie Sheen got over 1 million followers in less than 24 hours. He set a record.
Anyone ever.
Yeah.
How much of an impact has this had? Because people talk about Facebook, obviously, huge imprint, but Twitter it's been very different in its growth, and I think it sort of fits into a different niche. What's your read on it?
Well, I was reading a story this morning about Elizabeth Taylor, who just died, and the story was basically that a lot of mainstream news media is turning to Twitter to get comments for their stories. So now
free commentary. You don't even have to take a camera out on the street.
Yeah, you don't have to phone a publicist to reach a celebrity. You can just read their tweet, and then you have a story.
It's interesting, and it kind of has changed the way certain journalists fact-checked or don't fact-check things, because once word gets out there, it's almost like playing a game of telephone where news outlets are spending the entire next broadcast correcting themselves because they take it from Twitter or where have you.
I'm surprised they don't use the trending aspect a little bit more, news organizations, just to really get a feel for what people are talking about.
Oh, I think they do. I think they do. I think a lot of media outlets now have to listen to Twitter to decide what they're going to run, what they're going to post.
Because it's what millions of people are talking about.
So it's running the news media, basically, at this point.
Right. Let's talk about white people stinking because it's trending right now.
Okay, let's talk about cracked.com.
Well, one thing about cracked.com is, I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember Cracked magazine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Never admitted if I were.
Yeah, it was like Mad Magazine and Cracked, right?
Or if I had a subscription to it.
Yeah, that's which I may or may not have.
I wouldn't.
Which you still have.
So they've made it into a website, obviously.
It's a website, and it's really successful at what a lot of websites or media outlets called NVIs, and these are posts that are designed to bring in a lot of traffic. And they'll have really funny lists, clever lists that you can read in like a couple of minutes at work or whatever. One list I was looking at the other day was movie stars who look the same in every movie poster. And they had all these movie posters of Bruce Willis and Tom Cruise, and sure enough, they look exactly the same. Denzel Washington.
Same pose, same
Eddie Murphy has his eyebrow raised in every movie poster he's on. Yeah.
Now that I think about it, he sure
Who
does.
notices stuff like that? Obviously the people at Cracked.
People are sitting around like trying to think of, Another one was 6 useful organizations that you think are evil because of the movies. And when you think about it, there's, Big Pharma is one. Insane asylums. Everyone thinks insane asylums are bad because they're always presented so poorly in movies.
Thank you, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Let's skip ahead a little bit for the more intellectual fare. The TED Talks, I think some people may have heard about it before but don't really understand the concept, but these are quite amazing.
They're great, they're leaders in their field, and they're talking about different topics that just, I think one example that I really liked was the one with the crow vending machine. And Joshua Klein just talks about setting up a vending machine in the middle of a field that crows come to, and they learn to take a coin from the ground, deposit it into the vending machine, and get a peanut that way.
And by the way, this is not something we should be teaching crows, because soon
they'll take over the world.
They're one opposable thumb
just like
away.
The horses, right?
And really quickly, I want to mention this because Forbes could be on this website. Girls making gun sounds, and it's just a collection of chick chick pow.
Well, they get specific. They say this, Cindy's doing a Gatling gun or whatever. But this is just one of those weird.
It's so funny.
This is just one of those weird things on the internet that the internet was built for. This is probably Quentin Tarantino's favorite website, or it might even be his next movie. I don't know.
Who knows?
But you're not going to see it on NBC, which is the beauty of it.
You're not going to see it on NBC.
Well, Shawn, thank you so much. You can go to guttersnipenews.com to find out, well, basically everything that's going on in the world of pop culture and in Vancouver.
Very nice. Appreciate it, man. We're going to take a break.